Okay, so now that we've selected an offer, we're going to go ahead with the tracker offer. I've showed you how to get banners. I've showed you how to get placements, whether you want to use the display planner or you want to go more laser targeted and see what your competition is doing through what runs where. But we have everything we need to be able to start running some traffic. So back over in my AdWords manager, before we get started, you want to actually make sure you create or have an AdWords account here. So you can either link an AdWords account that you already have, or you create a new one from scratch. If you're creating a new one, it's very simple. Just go ahead and enter in a name. Make sure your billing info is there. Otherwise, obviously, you can't run traffic if you have no billing. So that's very, very simple stuff. So once you're all set up, head over to the campaigns tab. And we're going to go create our very first campaign. And I'm going to walk you through a couple do's and a couple don'ts. So we're going to click on this little plus button here. We're going with the display network only. I'm going to select the account that I set up, the AdWords account, Sean Demo, and we're going to continue. And then we're going to be brought over to the next page, which is basically going to ask you what type of ad that you want to run, what kind of objective do you have. So we're always going to want to pick pretty much visit your website. That's really what you're going to try to get people to do. So pretty much every time you're going to do that. And we can call this whatever we want, tracker ad example. Okay, make sure this says display only. Don't worry about this. None of your ads are running. I have no ads running, so it's just letting me know. It's a weird alert. If you want, you can just click it and just click dismiss and it'll go away. So you'll have your locations down here. I'm in Canada. Sometimes you'll have different countries you can run an offer in. I'm just going to run this in the United States to be simple. Obviously, it's English language. Budget, let's just go with 10 a day. I recommend, though, if you are going to do it, you probably want to at least run with 25 bucks, maybe even 50 to 100. Because remember, you're going to probably pay anywhere from 75 cents to $1 a click. So 10 bucks going to get me maybe 10, 15, 20 clicks max if I'm really good. It's not a lot of data to go off of. Remember, GDN is more expensive, but it can still be very lucrative when you have the right targets. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Now your bid strategy, you can bid by clicks. If you edit here, you can also bid by conversion if your ad network allows you to put conversion pixels on the page. You can also bid by impressions, which you would be bidding per 1,000 impressions. And an impression would be just the amount of times your banner shows up on the site. Obviously, a click is the amount of times your banner is actually clicked. Just to keep things simple, we recommend as you're starting out, you just focus strictly on CPC, the click bidding, and you just leave the default option. Now, for some additional settings, there's a couple things that I want to go over here. You can go with standard or accelerated. Standard would be if you wanted Google to just take your 10 bucks and spread it out evenly throughout the day. Accelerated would be if you wanted Google to just take your 10 bucks and spend it like that. We recommend you just leave it at standard. That way you can see what times and days you get the best results. Ad extensions you really won't touch. Scheduling allows you to day part your offer is what it's called. So you can pick different days, pick different times with the days. We recommend you just don't bother with that at the beginning, especially because you're going to want to get data. Ad delivery, you can change the amount of times your banners are going to be rotated in and out. So we just have one banner I'm going to set up, but let's say you wanted to set up 6 different banners and test which ones get the best results. You definitely want to make sure you edit it and rotate evenly, because that's going to make sure that all your banners get the same amount of impressions, so that you can see who the winner is, which banner works best. Since we're only going with one banner though, you pretty much want to just leave it as optimized for clicks and don't touch anything else. Frequency capping, you can set how many impressions that you want to be viewed per day and then stop the banner altogether. Since we're only spending 10 bucks, I'm just going to leave it at that. And the rest of these you really don't need to touch, so I'm not going to go over. So we're going to go ahead and click save and continue. Ad group name doesn't matter. Your max CPC bid, I recommend you at least stay around $1. I try to do a weird number above $1 just so that I'm going to get the most traffic that I can possibly get. And we'll go from there. Now, one thing to note, okay, it's really hard to direct link. I know I talked about direct linking versus having a landing page. It's really difficult to direct link on Google because Google is very strict and they want to make sure that whatever your landing page URL is matches your display URL. So what we've done, and Chris showed this in an earlier video, is we actually have a tracker landing page here on CPA Masters Academy. So this is going to be our destination URL. This is where users are going to go. And then on this page, you would put on the click here to get yours now, you would actually then put your tracking link on that page that takes them over to the tracker offer. And our tracking link looks like this. Okay, very similar to what you've seen in Bing, in ClickMagick. If you're not familiar, I'm not going to go over it in too many details because there'll be a template right underneath that video that goes over exactly how to track. But just to give you some of the parameters that Google lets you get data on, you can track the device it came from. So this will be whether it's a cell phone, a tablet, or a desktop. You can get the device model. So for example, if it came from a tablet, was it a Note or was it an iPad, things like that. The creative would be the exact banner that was clicked. So if you had different banners that you were testing, the placement is your website URL, the target is the target, and the keyword is the keyword if you were going by keywords. You can actually run ads by targeting keywords like, key finder or something like that. Okay, so that's what would go here. Now, in terms of the landing page, I'm going to put that here. Okay, we're just going to assume that this is the landing page we're going to use. And there's a couple ways to target here. Like I said, you can target by display keywords. So if you wanted to just do it like you would run a Bing ad, you could, we're looking at Tracker, you could pick keywords like how to find lost keys or lost key finder, lost cell phone finder, things like that. Or you can go by interests, or you can use a different targeting method. And you can select by topics. These are actually topics that are in Google. So there'll be like a beauty category, a fitness category, arts and entertainment, things like that. Sometimes that actually works really well. And I'll talk about that when our banner gets approved and I actually go through your back office in a little bit more details. But we're going to just target by placements. Okay, that's the websites that we went and found on this spreadsheet. Just going to select the first 10. I recommend you find at least 200 to 300, preferably 1,000 plus, because you don't know which websites are going to win. You can go and find the most laser targeted websites and only have 5 of them and they all suck, and then you're back to square one. You really want to have a bunch of really good websites to go with. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and, select the first 10 on this list. We're going to pick multiple placements and I'm going to paste them in. I might be going a little fast here, guys, so I would recommend you pause, rewind, watch this video over and over because I know there's a lot to take in, but this is exactly how you go about doing it. So you can narrow your targeting further if you want. For example, you can add in demographics here if you really want, and you can start narrowing down the ages. Okay, we're not going to do that. Yes, we want to remove that. You can also add in the topics. I'll show you what that looks like. So here, for example, we could start looking through these and seeing if it makes sense. Like there's a computer and electronics topic that might make sense to layer in. So for example, if somebody went to cellphonetrackers.org, it would only display the banner on that website if it matched the topics that you selected. So this allows you to get a little bit more laser targeted if you want. You can play around with it. I recommend you just leave it alone at the beginning because if you try to get too pretty and too fancy with your data selections here, you could be missing out on potential buyers because you don't know who your buyers are until you actually get some buyers, okay? So you can play around with it later after you have more data and you've had conversions and you know who your buyers are. Right now, we're casting a wide net and we're going pretty broad with just placements, okay? So I'm gonna go and click Save and Continue. And then I'm going to go and we're going to upload our banner ad. So here I am on the banner area, and I'm going to go ahead and upload the banner that we saved from Max Bounty. It's just a normal tracker ad, and we can just call this whatever we want, tracker ad 1. Now, notice how the display URL, cpamastersacademy.com, matches my final URL. That's very important. If we wanted to direct link, let's say we just wanted to go straight to tracker.co, and we wanted that to be our display URL, but we wanted our final URL to be the ClickMagick link. So we want it to show tracker.co. When somebody clicks, it takes them right to the offer. Watch what happens here. I'm going to go ahead and save the ad, and it's going to give me an error. And the error that it's giving me here as it loads up, I'm just going to explain it to you, is they're going to tell me something along the lines of, your display URL must match your tracking URL. That's exactly what they're going to say. In fact, the error basically says your display URL needs to accurately reflect the URL of your website and be viable web address that is part of your ad's destination domain. So you cannot have a display URL that says tracker.co and then have a tracking link that is a ClickMagick link. It just won't work. And I don't want to wait for this thing to load up. So we're just going to go ahead and, stop that. And we'll go again back to create ads, and we'll just do the image ad now the way that we had it before. So we have the display URL here, we have the final URL here, everything matches up nicely. We're going to click on the save ad. Sorry, I forgot to enter in a ad name, so we'll go tracker ad 1 again. We're going to click save. And now Google is very, very happy with what just happened. Okay, so that's a very important distinction. I know I talked about direct linking before, but it's very, very difficult to do in Google, and that's why you need some sort of lander in front, and you want to make the lander match the offer. So this is what we created before, and like I mentioned, you'll have your click magic link be this button. So person clicks on the banner, they come over to this landing page, then they'll click on the button, then that takes them over to this tracker page where they can actually go purchase it. That's basically how the Google Display Network works. Now, as you see over here, the ads are under review. Usually on an aged account, you can get your ads approved sometimes in like 10 minutes, sometimes up to an hour. Since this is a brand new account, it can take up to 24 hours to get reviewed. So don't be alarmed if it takes a day, maybe even 2 days for them to go through and review your accounts. Now, one thing I should mention here, there's actually a few things you need to do before this starts running. Okay, as I mentioned, it's going to take a little bit to run, but we can fix a couple things before we get going. You want to head into your settings, okay? And what we want to do here is we want to turn off mobile traffic. Now, you might not always want to do that, but in general, it's a good idea to shut off the traffic on cell phones because you won't get as many sales, okay? Desktop traffic usually works a lot better with these sale offers, so we're going to go ahead and shut that off now. And you're going to go ahead down here and click on device target and mobile device and tablets. You're going to change your mobile bit adjustment, and right here we're going to edit and we're going to decrease by 100%. Okay, once I save that, now I've turned off mobile devices. Unfortunately, you can't turn off tablets. There's no way. It would be really cool if you could, because then you'd be fully desktop traffic, but you definitely want to get rid of that junk mobile device traffic. The other thing you want to do is you want to head over and click on the display network tab, and then you want to click on the targets button over here, and you're going to add 3 campaign exclusions. Okay, this is very, very, very important. Let me just close this thing. We don't want that. And yes, I don't want it the step-by-step guide. Okay, so we're going to add campaign exclusions, and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. You want to exclude a certain placement, and I'm going to paste it here. And you should pause the video and make sure you do this every time. Right now, we're getting rid of those in-game apps. You know, when you're playing Flappy Birds or whatever on your phone, and the ads pop up, you're turning those off right now because those can ruin your ads super fast, and you're going to spend money, and you're going to be mad because you wasted money. Okay, so we're going to save that as one. We're also going to go back, and we're going to add a campaign exclusion of topics. I'm just going to shut off games altogether. I just want to make sure and cover my butt to make sure that there are no in-game ads happening. Okay, so we've shut that off and shut that off. And the other thing you want to turn off is site categories. We're going to turn off the in-game. Where are you in-game? We're going to turn that off. And we're also going to turn off this weird one here, which is, where are you? Gmode mobile app non-interstitial. Okay, I don't know what the heck that stands for, but you're going to turn both those off. Okay, so these are now your campaign exclusions, these 3 things here. It's very important. What we've done here now, to close things off, now that we're waiting for our ad to be approved, is we've basically excluded our ads from any in-game ads, and now we've also excluded mobile traffic so that we can get laser targeted, good, clean, quality desktop traffic. So that's about it right now. That's how you would go ahead and set up your offer from scratch. I know it's a little bit long video. You might want to watch this a couple times because there's a little bit to know. Trust me, as you get better at it, you'll be able to do these things like that. And once the ad gets approved and we have some data, I'll come back, I'll go through some things, and we'll finalize this and show you exactly how you can scale up and start to get some better results. So with that being said, going to cut the video there, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.